I am so excited to show you all our new bucket truck. This thing is designed from the ground up for fiber splicing, but it's also going to change the way we work on security cameras and so much of the other work that we do on a day-to-day basis. So welcome to the view from 30 feet in the air. You can see I'm well above many of the buildings and even trees around here. This is plenty of height to get me up to fiber optic lines that are mounted on telephone poles, as well as some higher mounted security cameras. Up here in the bucket, we've got our main controls, as well as a control for the emergency pump that can lower me down in case there's an issue with the main engine. We can also start and stop the van's engine to save on gas while we're in the air. We've got a bucket for tool storage here, and then this is a latch for the safety harness that I'm wearing to keep me safe up in the air. In addition to the height, you can see we've also got a ton of horizontal reach. So if there's something that I need to get to that's far off the road, we can easily get to it with this. Inside this side door here are the lower controls for the bucket, which are pretty self-explanatory. This is useful for maintenance, and also in the unlikely event that there's some type of emergency or the bucket gets stuck, it can also be controlled from those lower controls. When I said this vehicle was built from the ground up for fiber splicing, this is what I was talking about. You can see on the passenger side, we've got this massive workbench where we can do all of our fiber splicing and testing right inside the truck. So the way it works is that you go up in the bucket, you pull the fiber optic splice case off the pole, you bring it in through one of these two side windows here. There's one here that's open and one here that's closed, and you can actually close the window and the cable still comes through on these brushes and sits on these rollers, and then you can clamp it down here. That way you're still isolated from the weather outside. And then you can do all of your splicing and testing on this nice workbench, isolated from the elements, and then when you're done, you take the splice case back up in the bucket and attach it to the pole. Over here on this side, we've got a ton of storage. I'm still working on figuring out what I want to put where, but we've got some different size zip ties, cable clamps, tape. This is going to be an area for aerial drop hardware. So, for example, this drop clamp here, house hook, and some other stuff that we'll store up here. A lot of this is safety equipment. So this is the harness that I was wearing, safety vest, hard hat, gloves, the tool storage bucket, this stuff, which is more important than I wish it were, first aid kit, some cleaning supplies. And then down here, this is a shovel and a purpose-built spade that is specifically designed for burying a certain kind of direct burial fiber cable. So just like our other vehicle, we're keeping everything nice and organized. And then over here, we have this toolbox with some basic hand tools, screwdrivers, cutters, some fiber optic and measurement equipment in here, some flashlights in here with some room for expansion. I haven't quite filled that yet. And then we've got some more aerial equipment here. So these rollers, you hang on the metal messenger wire that goes between telephone poles, and then you can use it to pull wire between poles. This is what's called a foreign voltage detector, so we can hold this up against a telephone line or other lines that are not supposed to be energized, and in the event that they are somehow accidentally energized, this will save us from getting hurt. This is a weight that we can tie to some pull string and use it to get through tree branches. This can attach, this is sort of like one of those finger trap toys. This can go on the end of a pull string and then attach itself to a cable and use it to pull the cable. Got some jumper cables and some other roadside equipment up there. This is a stand for dispensing large spools of cable. And then we've got some traffic control equipment mounted above the header there, as well as a bunch of cones here. So still working on filling this out, but you can see that we're pretty well equipped to get started. Here in the cab, you can see it's pretty normal other than a few special additions. There's a control for the traffic advisor light on the back. This is an hour gauge that tells us how long the pump has been running for the bucket, which we can control with this switch here. There's also a switch for the other strobe lights and the power inverter that sends AC power to the back where we're working. Up here, this is the rear view mirror, because if we had a traditional rear view mirror, we would not be able to see much. So that is a first look at our new bucket truck. I am so excited that we finally have this. It's going to save me a ton of time and also save my back from having to raise those giant, huge fiberglass ladders we've used before. It's going to allow us to do types of work that we've never been able to do before, but it's also going to allow us to be more efficient with the types of work we've already been doing. If you work with us in the near future, you might just see this vehicle in use when we're there. If you enjoyed this video, you can check out the video tour that we did of our main vehicle, our work van, that we use for all different types of work: AV, security cameras, fiber optics, Wi-Fi installations, and so on. Feel free to subscribe as well. We post occasionally from time to time when we have something interesting going on like this.